A girl who died in 1942 was brought back to life to help save the modern world, and somehow she still wasn't the most dangerous person on the team. These are the Heroes of Olympus. By the end of this video, you'll know which one of them nearly destroyed everything they were trying to protect, and the warning signs were there the whole time. Percy Jackson. Starting with the obvious one, Percy is the son of Poseidon, god of the sea, earthquakes, and horses. He can control water, breathe underwater, talk to sea creatures, and survive things that would destroy any other demigod. He once held up the sky. He was offered immortality and said no because he refused to leave his friends behind. But what makes Percy truly special isn't just his power, it's his loyalty. He will walk into Tartarus, the most dangerous place in existence, for the people he cares about. And in Heroes of Olympus, that's exactly what he does. Tartarus isn't just dangerous, it's the pit beneath the underworld, where the worst monsters in existence go when they die. No demigod was supposed to fall into Tartarus and make it back out alive. Percy went in anyway, with Annabeth, to close the doors of death from the inside. They survived on willpower alone. It almost destroyed both of them. Everyone fights harder when Percy is with them, and the person who nearly brought the whole mission down, someone Percy trusted with his life. We'll get there. Annabeth Chase. If Percy is the heart of the seven, Annabeth is the brain. Her mum is Athena, goddess of wisdom and battle strategy. Annabeth ran away from home at 7 years old and survived on her own. That should tell you everything you need to know about her. Her biggest moment in Heroes of Olympus is completing the Mark of Athena, an ancient quest that no child of Athena had ever survived. She walks straight into a trap designed to destroy her. She does it anyway. Don't make the mistake of thinking she only fights with her head either. Annabeth has trained at Camp Half-Blood longer than almost anyone. She'll beat you before you've even decided to throw a punch. But intelligence can't solve every threat, especially when the most dangerous person on the board doesn't even know they're becoming dangerous. Jason Grace. Percy is the son of Poseidon. Jason is the son of Jupiter, the Roman version of Zeus. That means Jason controls lightning, wind, storms, and flight. He can call down actual lightning bolts and ride air currents through the sky. Roman gods are often more militarized and disciplined than their Greek aspects, which means Jason isn't just powerful, he's precise, a trained weapon rather than a wild force. His backstory is brilliant. He was raised at Camp Jupiter as a soldier, then had his memory completely wiped and woke up at Camp Half-Blood with zero idea who he was. No memories, no context, no clue. And he still stepped up to lead. That's just who Jason is. Even at his lowest, he acts like a hero. But raw power isn't the only weapon on this team. Sometimes the most dangerous thing in the room is a voice. McLean. Everyone underestimates Piper. That's the first mistake. Her mom is Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty. Her cabin is known for caring more about hair than monsters, so people write her off. That is a serious error. Piper has charm speak, the power to make anyone do what she says. She can talk enemies into surrendering, override the will of creatures far more powerful than herself, and once convinced a giant to stop fighting mid-battle with just her voice. She also carries a dagger called Catoptris that shows visions of the future and a magical horn of plenty that can produce food, weapons, or basically anything she needs. Piper is one of the most underrated heroes on this entire list, but even a voice that can bend monsters can't always reach someone who's already convinced they have to suffer alone. Valdez. Valdez is fireproof, not as a figure of speech. He generates fire with his bare hands, a power so rare that no child of Hephaestus has had it in centuries. The last one who did, everyone thought he was cursed. On top of that, Leo is a mechanical genius. He built Hephaestus, a full-sized bronze dragon, as a cabin project. Then he designed and constructed the Argo II, a flying warship with cannons, Greek fire launchers, and a stable for a giant horse almost entirely by himself, and he was only a teenager. But Leo is also the funny one who's secretly carrying the most pain. He accidentally started a fire as a child that killed his mom. He spent years thinking he was broken. The jokes are how he copes. Here's what makes Leo's arc unlike anyone else on this list. From the very beginning, a prophecy told him that one of the 7 would be the one to lose everything. Leo spent the entire series believing that was going to be him. And instead of running from it, he leaned into it. He spent months secretly working on a plan that would require him to sacrifice himself to defeat the villain. He told nobody. He carried it completely alone. And when the moment came, he went through with it. Zhang. Frank Zhang looks like the least threatening person in any room. He's big, a bit clumsy, and uses a bow when everyone else has a sword. At Camp Jupiter, most people thought he was average at best. He is absolutely not average. Frank is the son of Mars, the Roman god of war, and also a descendant of Poseidon on his mom's side. That's 2 incredibly powerful bloodlines in one person. His main power? He can shapeshift into any animal, a dragon, an eagle, an elephant, a whole swarm of bees, whatever the moment needs. His story is about proving that looking unimpressive and being unimpressive are 2 completely different things. By the end of the series, Frank is one of the most respected warriors at Camp Jupiter. And the next hero? Her power doesn't come from bloodlines at all. It comes from death itself. Hazel Levesque. Remember her from the start? Here's the full story. Hazel died in 1942. She was brought back from the underworld to join this team. Her dad is Pluto, Roman god of the underworld and all the wealth buried in the earth. Hazel can pull gold, gems, and precious metals straight out of the ground. She can even curse people with riches. If someone picks up the treasures she summons, they get consumed by greed. It destroys them. She can also control the mist, the magical veil that hides the god world from humans. Hazel can see through illusions that fool everyone else and even reshape what people around her see as real. She came back from death because she wanted to make things right. That takes serious courage. And from here, the list gets darker, because the next hero proves that saving the world and nearly ending it can come from the exact same place. Nico di Angelo. Here's where it gets complicated. Nico isn't officially one of the 7, but leaving him off this list would be a crime, because Nico might be the most powerful demigod in the entire series. His dad is Hades, god of the dead and ruler of the underworld. Nico can summon armies of skeletons and spirits, teleport through shadows instantly, and drain the life force from living things. He once held open the doors of death from the inside. He's walked into Tartarus multiple times and come back out. Now here's the part most people forget. At one point in this series, Nico is captured by giants and imprisoned inside a bronze jar. He's kept there for weeks, barely alive, with almost no air, slowly dying in complete darkness. And when Percy and the others finally find him, he refuses to show how broken he is. He just gets up and keeps going. That moment tells you everything about Nico. The toughest character in the series isn't always the one with the biggest power. Sometimes it's the one who survives things nobody else even knows happened to him. But isolation is dangerous in this world, especially when you're powerful enough to open doors between life and death. And that matters later. Thalia Grace. Thalia is Jason's older sister and the daughter of Zeus, the king of the Greek gods himself. And she controls lightning and storm energy and carries the Aegis, a shield disguised as a bracelet with the face of Medusa on it. When she raises it, entire armies freeze in fear. That's not an exaggeration. Thalia died as a teenager protecting her friends and was turned into a pine tree on Half-Blood Hill to preserve her soul. When she was brought back to life, she joined the Hunters of Artemis, a group of young women who hunt monsters and never age. So instead of going back to camp, she's out in the world fighting every single day. Fast, deadly, and completely done with nonsense. What happens when a leader has none of those flashy powers and still holds everything together? Reyna Avila Ramírez-Arellano. Reyna is the praetor of Camp Jupiter, basically the general, and she earned every bit of it. Her mom is Bellona, Roman goddess of war. Reyna doesn't have big flashy powers like Percy or Jason. Instead, she can share her strength with the people around her, boosting the power of every soldier nearby just by being there. That's a leader's power. When Jason went missing and Percy lost his memory, Reyna held Camp Jupiter together on her own. Then she flew solo across the world on a Pegasus to deliver a priceless artifact that helped save both camps. She asked nobody for help, she just did it. As powerful as the Seven were, the real threat wasn't always outside the team. Grover Underwood. Grover isn't one of the Seven, and he isn't central to every Heroes of Olympus storyline. But you cannot explain Percy's world without him, because Grover is one of the original heroes who helped make this entire prophecy possible. As a satyr, a nature spirit, he can sense emotions, talk to animals, and use his panpipes to control plants mid-battle. He carries the spirit of the god Pan inside him, giving him a connection to the natural world unlike any other character. He's not your go-to fighter, but without Grover, Percy never makes it to this prophecy in the first place. The whole story starts with him. Tyson. Tyson might be the most lovable character in this entire universe. Tyson is Percy's half-brother and a full Cyclops. One eye, enormous size, and strength that's basically off the charts. He's fireproof, one of the best weapon forgers alive, and an absolute force of nature in a fight. But Tyson calls Percy brother every single time with total sincerity. In a series full of broken, complicated, guarded characters, Tyson is just good. And when you see what isolation does to the most powerful demigod on this list, you'll understand exactly why that matters. So which hero nearly destroyed everything? Nico, isolated, manipulated, and pushed so far into pain that the enemy nearly turned one of the most powerful demigods alive into a weapon against his own team. Hazel came back from the dead to save the world. Nico almost ended it. Same team. That's what makes Heroes of Olympus darker than it first looks. You've met the heroes, now it's time to meet the parents. Watch my full Olympian Gods breakdown, links on screen.